What is going on? And welcome back to episode 9 of the Noble Steady Sort of Sports Talk. I am your boy Tyler here, your host, and with my main man Joey, who just recently had a birthday. Happy late birthday, Joey, and welcome in. Well, how's it going, buddy?
34 laps around the sun is getting there. So
I hear that, man. I hear that. But we talked beforehand. You said you had a good birthday. Glad to hear it, man. You had some really good news on that one for your birthday. So it's always a great day. I'm happy you had a good one, bud.
Yep.
But the main thing that we're here to talk about today is Clash at the Castle that just ended about a half an hour ago. And gotta say, overall, solid show. Solid show. I'm really enjoying them taking these I hate to call them B-level shows, but they're the filler.
PLEs, I should say, damn it. They're PLEs.
The PLEs. What I should say is the PLEs between the big four. I do like how they're taking some of the ones that don't have as much like prestige or history behind them and moving them to these international crowds. And look, shout out to the Scotland crowd. Y'all brought it today. I think I only really remember one match where they were kind of sitting on their hands, but even that,
it was. I can tell you right now, it's probably the highlight of the weekend for Scotland fans in general. Shout out to the UEFA Euros going on right now.
Oh, there you go. I love it, Joey. I love it.
But no, yeah, like anytime you can bring an event, especially after Puerto Rico had
Backlash,
and the crowd was loud, and then with Paris having Battleground, like these crowds are gonna only get better.
Yeah. I think it was Backlash. Is Battleground was is now fully NXT.
Backlash, you're right.
Yeah, not trying to correct you. Not trying to correct you. Just want to make sure that we had our facts straight on that one.
I just played WWE recently, and that was the pay-per-view I wrestled in. So
gotcha. Whoopsie. Makes complete sense, man.
Yeah.
Plus, they start with a B. So look, we'll give you a pass this time, okay?
Potato.
So let's jump into it, man. So do you want to just go right into match by match, or do you want to talk about some overview real quick, or actually
what you want?
I was gonna say the overview for first thing I want to say before we jump into matches is the only problem I had today was no pyro. Very weird.
I brought that up in our text message.
You did.
I was like, no pyro, but I think I'm sure it's got something to do with like, Scotland's kind of rowdy. Maybe they don't want to bring up any kind of old stuff.
I can see that. And I can also see, just the way it was set up, kind of. You could kind of tell it wasn't really set up really great for pyro. You know what it kind of reminded me of was like the old school Royal Rumbles, like at Madison Square Garden and stuff, that kind of thing. Like, it's not really a true big stage. It's just kind of like they have an opening and some LED boards that have the lights come out, kind of like with SummerSlam when it was in Nashville.
Yeah, I kind of like that they're doing that now. It opens the stadium up a little bit. It kind of gives it that retro feel. Kind of makes it less about it. It almost makes it more about the matches than the event itself. It's making the matches tell the story, not the event tell the story. So I like that.
Yeah, of course. That's really my only thing other than the fans and no pyro. Is there anything else that kind of stuck out to you before we jump into it? Match by match?
The crowd was excellent, like we said. Nothing really like, great. I could tell you right now, when we talk about that main event, I called it. I called it from the jump.
Oh, yeah. So let's not give that away, but yeah, you did call that. I will give you credit on that one. I will not steal that from you, sir. So let's get into it. Before we give too much away, our first match of the evening was our defending WWE undisputed WWE Universal
Undisputed
Galaxy Champion, whatever you want to call it with a million names. I just call it WWE Championship.
The undisputed WWE undisputed WWE Universal
Galaxy.
Undisputed Champion.
Yeah, that one. It's too many names. Okay, you know which one I'm talking about.
The WWE belt.
Yeah,
the WWE
belt.
Yeah.
We had Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles in an I Quit match, only for the 26th time in WWE history. Got to say, I enjoyed this match. Really like the way they kind of weave some storyline in there as well. I Quit matches are always kind of hard because it comes to a grinding halt when you're like, hey, ref, go ask him. So it's
Ask him, does he
sometimes
quit?
exactly. So it's sometimes hard to keep that momentum going, but I think they did a good job. There's only really one time where I was like, okay, this kind of I don't really like this, but other than that, solid match, man.
I
I prefer.
remember when they talked about the I Quit match, I always anytime I hear about an I Quit match,
I know what you're
I
trying to
think
say.
of what's that? I want to see if
Are
I
you
get
going to
this
say
right.
Shane McMahon and Kane? Oh, okay, sorry.
It
Go
was
ahead.
I don't remember who he was wrestling, but it was Mick Foley. And he was laying on the ground and they put the microphone to his face. And it was very obvious that it was him from like a Raw 3 weeks ago screaming I quit into the microphone and
I
they
want
played it.
to. I want to say it
You
was
know
The
what I'm
Rock.
talking about, right?
Yeah, no. I want to say
Okay.
that's The Rock. I'm checking it right
But
now.
they played it and I'm like, come on, really? So I'm like waiting for WWE to pull that crap again. Like when they had the whole he's knocked out, he's knocked out. I was waiting for him to put the microphone in his face
And something
and
like
they
that
play him
happened.
saying that. Yeah, and it's like, well, wait a minute.
So
Also, I thought that Cody used a capsule when he went
so
over to the ring bell area, which
right.
makes me laugh when they said ring bell. I'm like, you're saying what it does and what it is at the same word, same sentence.
Oh, it's great.
I
You could
thought
tell
he
there's
used the capsule because of how bright the blood was
what it was.
until he was being choked and you can kind of see it
So
dribble.
yeah. So that kind of shocked me that we not only one, we got two Crimson masks in this match, which I thought
That
really
doesn't
played
surprise me. I think with I quit matches, you have to have
that level of
sorry for
violence.
adjusting my stuff. You have to have that. Like you can't sit there and sugarcoat it. Like you're not gonna have an I quit match and then somebody just be like, oh, I quit. And that's it. Like you have to show color.
Oh, of course. I don't disagree. And I definitely added to this match. One of my personal favorite parts of it, at the beginning, because I want to try to keep it kind of chronological, but at the beginning, I thoroughly enjoyed them jumping into the crowd, wrestling back or like brawling their way back through Gorilla and then back down the entranceway. I thought I don't know why. I got such a giggle out of that. Just seeing the guys like in the Gorilla position, just sitting there at the monitors, trying to stay stone faced and not act like these guys aren't brawling right in front of their face.
I kind of wish that there was like somebody in the background was just like making a coffee or something. You just see him in the
Right?
background, or like oh, just like
Yeah, good stuff,
just
guys.
in the
Like,
background, just chilling. Like oh, there's a match going on right in my like right at my desk.
oh my god,
What
that
what
tickled
match
me
was
pink.
it? Wasn't there a match that it was during COVID? I can't remember if it was it might have been the Money in the Bank. It was Money in the Bank when they had both matches going on at the same time, and they went in Vince's office, and
Yeah,
he's
it
just
was.
sitting there, and they're wrestling around him, and he's like, "Hey!" And they all stare at him, and they just like quietly walk out the office.
I remember that. That was great. That was one of a lot of people crapped on that match. I mean, just the way it kind of ended. Now, don't get me wrong. Like the winner of that match, we get convoluted with it on who won that match and how it ended up.
It's also kind of ridiculous that it's like, "Oh, he threw him off the building." How's he at Raw the next day?
Dude, it was the dark ages. Okay, like we didn't have, we weren't being picky at that point.
It was entertainment for entertainment's sake. I think I think they did a fantastic job with what they had to work with. You know,
Exactly.
they're not meant to do uh movies per se.
No.
Hence why WWE Films I think is gone.
Well, I mean,
Um or you haven't
maybe
seen a WWE Films thing lately. Like
Hmm.
name me a good WWE Films movie.
Joey. I would have to go actually look and see. I mean, I'm sure there's one.
I could say maybe what's that one with Stone Cold where he's like a prisoner and he's on the Condemned?
Maybe. Like I said,
that might have been the best one.
I'm sure there's a sleeper out there that we've seen that we're just not thinking of right now.
I'm sure someone's going to come back and be like, "The Chaperone was fantastic."
Whoa, whoa. Look, love
Bit of
Triple H
trivia.
as a creative guy, but whoo.
Bit of
And
trivia. That movie was filmed in New Orleans.
oh god, can we leave that trivia alone? Anything with chaperone, let's just leave alone. It never happened. It was all a dreamer, as Triple H used to say back in the day. But
Yeah.
some things, Brad, bringing it back to Cody Rhodes and AJ real quick. I want to point out a few things. Did you see the suplex that AJ did from in the ring onto the floor? looked gnarly.
That was impressive.
It really was.
I'm sitting there looking like they're gonna tilt the pelvis here. Someone like that's gonna hurt in the morning.
Oh yeah. It was that. Then they had the brain buster on the table right after that, on the announce table, which
That one
looked,
hurt me.
yeah, right. What's it? And then Mama Rhodes calling him an asshole, calling AJ an asshole was hilarious
I
because like
love that.
they don't catch anything she says except for being like, "You're an asshole." Like that's
Yeah.
the only thing she caught.
It's
And then
asshole.
exactly right. And then when
I love
AJ
that.
when speaking of Cody getting color, when AJ just shouts out, "We got a bleeder." Like,
Was that
that
was
was
that him who
AJ.
yelled that? Oh, I didn't hear. I thought it was someone in the crowd. I'm like,
No,
that's kind of random, like a thick American,
no,
non-Scottish accent yelling, "We got a bleeder."
no, just goes, "We got a bleeder," and I'm like, I don't know why. I just started. I laughed out loud at that one. I was like,
I
"That's
get
great."
it made me think of there's been a clip going around on the reels and stuff that they talk about like Hogan was beating somebody up in WCW. I think it was like Billy Kidman, and he's like not done beating him up, and Eric Bischoff is behind him, and you see as they're zoomed in on Hulk Hogan, he turns around and he does this and takes a chair shot from Bischoff, and it's like you clearly see him go coast to coast with that, and just crack, and then his blood already on the chair.
Come on, man, that chair shot was just massive, you know.
But it's just so funny. Like it can't be any more obvious than just like he's facing this way, and you just see him.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty notorious for gigging himself and being very obvious about it. I'm pretty sure that's a Hogan thing. It's that he's known for is just gigging himself,
I don't think he likes it. So then he just kind of makes it.
right? But then you got Ric Flair on the other hand, who's just like, "Oh, I can bleed. All right, cool. Yeah, let's go."
Yeah, hold on. Let me dye my hair red.
Yeah, right. But
I remember like the late 99s watching, I say late 99s.
you mean in
Like
'99?
99 2000s watching Ric Flair wrestle, and he always bled, and I'm like, dude, his hair gets, he might as well dye his hair red. It's like the captain who says, "Get me my red pants."
Right? Oh my god. But God, dude, it was so great. Like I miss the good old Ric Flair days. Not the now Ric Flair days. Like,
Yeah. But no,
nah.
back to the match. Like it was really good. I enjoyed it. I think I kind of wish that they'd have fought in the crowd a little more, maybe did a little more backstage. But overall, like solid match.
Yeah, let me get your opinion though. One thing. The one thing, oh, overall solid match. I really enjoyed it. If it's not the match tonight, it's right there as a 2. So I have 2 things. I wish the ending was a little bit better. Like the whole stairs thing. He's like, quit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I wish he would have taken a shot and then like got up and then he goes for another one. He's like, no, I'm done. But then I did enjoy him getting the shot afterwards. And Cody asking his mom if he should do it or not. And of course she said yes.
That's what made it the best ending was he's just standing there and he's like, "Should I do it anyway?" And she's just like, "Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah." And he's okay. Ping. Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is I'm not sure I'm a fan of having Cody pass out. You know, because it kind of seems like he lucked out that the stipulation was I quit instead of anything else because he would have
Um
lost the belt. It's just a small nitpick. Small nitpick.
I get that. Um I don't know. Like
It's just a personal opinion.
I like it because it adds a degree to it. Plus, you get the little funny moment where he's like, "Wake up, Cody," and he's splashing water on him.
True. Like I
Um,
said, it played in the story of the match. Like I said, very small nitpick in an
yeah.
overall
I mean,
good match.
otherwise, like there's probably been matches where it's like they're in a sleeper hold and they're just like this, and they're like, he's out," and then they pick his arm up, and then it's just
Yeah.
like so.
Like I said,
Which I'd be more worried about him being out like this than I would if his arm dropped.
okay. I understand that.
But that's just me.
So let me ask you real quick. This is the second match in their series. I don't think we get a third. I don't see how you get a third out of this. I think Cody's kind of put a stamp that he beat AJ because he beat him
I
clean and he got
think
an I quit. So
I think if AJ gets a Money in the Bank,
Maybe. I
Maybe
think
you
I could
get
see
your
that be a third
third,
one.
but it would be a, oh, he wrestled solo, got his ass kicked, somehow won, and then in comes AJ.
Yeah.
Other than that, I agree. I don't think it makes sense, honestly. The I Quit match just kind of feels, you know,
Final.
final. Yeah. Like it just,
Like,
it's that stamp, like, boom, that's done.
it's like an old school steel cage match, right? Like that was your apex, your climax of the feud was in that steel cage. Nobody else can get in, can't run away, 1-on-1 in that big blue steel cage.
Yeah. I, I can't think of any other reason why they would want to book that.
Run
There's
it
so
back.
many other things. There's so many other things you can book. You're not having that in Cleveland. You're not having that in
Oh,
Toronto.
it'd be another B pay-per-view, I think.
Or would it just
Or
be a
PLA.
Raw?
Or it could be a Raw. Either way.
You just make
Or
it a Raw pay
SmackDown.
per view. Not Raw pay per view, like a Raw main event.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad main event. Look, both their matches were great. Different matches. Me personally, I prefer the first one in Backlash, just because technical. I'm more of a fan of technical matches. Like you just do all the flippy stuff, then get the 1, 2, 3, then the I Quit match. But it was still good matches. I recommend going to watch both of them, and they both have rewatchability. So I'm not going to give a star rating or
if
anything.
they would have put it, if they would have put that last and let him destroy the arena a little bit, it could have been better. But
yeah, but you knew they were
for an opening match. Yeah, for an opening match, like it was a good match.
Yeah, for sure. So moving right along, Broseph. Triple threat.
God. I'm listening.
Triple threat women's tag team title match. You got Alba Fire with Dawn, her Isla Dawn, her teammate. Isla Dawn, yeah. Spaced on that. Please forgive me on that one. Isla Dawn. You got Shayna and Zoe Stark, and then Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Sorry, guys. I did watch this show, I promise.
No, I'm laughing at the fact that they're probably going to notice that like everything just collapsed on me because my light has to be plugged in. Go ahead. Dude,
yeah,
y'all are getting live technical difficulties.
But anyway, as we go. So I will say one thing I definitely noticed is everybody's theme music. I want to say everybody's theme music, but especially the Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler theme music sounds like a creative player option on WWE 2K. My goodness, I couldn't discern it from anybody else on the roster. If you're going to be honest, if somebody would told me, oh, it's a first time NXT guy, I'm like, yeah, I can believe it. It's a very generic song, like guitar riff and everything. Gotta say, they made huge ovation for Alba Fire, the hometown, and Isla Dawn with their hometown heroes there. Big pop. I was very pleasantly surprised on that one. Jade, for losing her luggage or not having her luggage, came out looking like $1 million. Dude, she just has that it factor. Like I wrote in my notes
she's gonna be the top women's champ soon.
But what's your money match? What's the money match? Is it Bianca or is it Charlotte?
Bianca. I think because of the fact that they bill her as she's super strong, and that's what they bill Bianca as. It's immovable force.
I don't disagree. I think they're both great matches.
So, and the Charlotte and Jade would be fantastic.
Jade's almost there, in my opinion. Almost.
I feel like she's still got a little bit. She needs a little bit more of the WWE style.
Yep.
But her and Bianca would be a fantastic match.
I don't disagree with you, and I want to circle back to that in a second. That match, that's going to inevitably happen. But I want to say the presentation they give for Jade is phenomenal. Like from the jump, oh my goodness, this is the person I need to pay attention to. Other than the fact of her physical stature, that presence she has, just the presentation that WWE gives you of her. But I was a huge fan of the like kind of war paint makeup she had on, like that was awesome. did not, and I also noticed that Bianca had like spikes in her hair, right? And I wrote on there, I thought they looked good, but at one camera angle kind of made her look like a stegosaurus. I'm just gonna say it because like it was a certain way they showed it. Biancasaurus, just like she had spikes on her back. But overall in this match, Bianca and Jade got their run early on. They got all their stuff in. Then we ended up getting the other two teams tagging. I was gonna say tag teaming them, but teaming up to knock them out. You had a few big spots. I'm pretty sure everybody got in on Jade, knocking Jade out for a good bit before her hot tag. As we go through the match, Jade gets her hot tag. The one thing I will say, and this kind of went off the rails a little bit towards the end of the match. Man, poor thing I fell for that springboard. I don't know if she slipped off the ropes or she just mistimed it off her first jump, but she ate it, for lack of a better term. But she played off well. There also was a little slip where she was trying to do like the big boot to Shayna and then the power bomb at the same time. But like I said, small nitpicks. She needs some more time. And then you can still kind of tell that they're mapping out her matches a little bit. Be like spot. So they're trying to get there. But she's going to get there. It was a better performance than I've seen. Feel bad for that one big botch, but let's not bury the lead. We got new champs. The hometown team.
It was definitely a match that the hometown fans can go home happy. Like, hey, we got something.
That's what I wanted to ask you. So I never had in doubt of the women's title changing hands. I didn't think Piper was going to win it. I'm not trying to give away the other one, but when that result happened, my thought was instantly, no other belts changing hands. This is the obligatory fan service thing, right?
I knew the other women's title wasn't going to change hands. Nothing against Piper Niven. I just think that her story with Chelsea Green is better set for the tag titles.
Yeah, I can see that.
Can she be a single star? Yes, I think so. I think it's there. Just a little bit more work.
But she wasn't built up yet, right?
Right. Like, yeah, it was just like, hey, we're in Scotland. Boom, you get the run. Like, okay. But yeah, like when those two won, it was, you could maybe see Drew winning it, kinda, but
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But overall, your thoughts on this match, bud? I've been rambling.
I kind of kept my eye on it. It didn't really grab my attention. I knew it was either going to be a fan service match or it was going to be just a, hey, look how strong Bianca and Jade are. But, overall good match. Just, it's not a story that, it doesn't have my attention.
I gotcha. So now we can circle back to that Bianca match. Now that they've lost the titles, do you think it's an instantaneous kind of break up the team, or you think they probably go for it again? Maybe at Money in the Bank.
I think it'll be a slow burn.
Slow burn. I think so too. I just don't
because this is what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get another shot because they deserve their rematch.
Yep.
And let's say they lose, and it's not clean. It can be funky, whatever it may be. You go into the Money in the Bank qualifiers. They both qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. And maybe you have a situation where they're like, hey, we're going to beat everybody up. And they're like, we're going to beat everybody up. And they beat everybody up. And then it's just them two in the ring. And it's like something kind of like that.
I can see that. And I know, and I agree with you. I think it's a slow burn. God, because I really thought they were going to try to drag this Bianca and Jade thing out till Mania. That's where I'm kind of thinking, I think it's too short for them to. I mean, I guess they could realistically in 2 months kind of build this story up. with them
think
at SummerSlam.
No, I don't think it's going to happen at SummerSlam.
Think it's too
I
close?
think it's going to be like it kicks off at SummerSlam.
Okay.
And then it just becomes an angle where it's just like, maybe they've worked in like Bianca's going to have some time off, so they'll write her off of TV after SummerSlam. Jade's going to attack her, and then when the Rumble comes around, Bianca comes back, and there's your match for Mania.
I like that booking, Joey. I like that booking because I can definitely see. It really all depends on if they think Jade is ready on her own. I think Bianca's been a great support, being able to carry the majority of the match. Jade get the hot tag, come in and do all of her big spots. But if they feel confident she can carry a match on her own or with somebody else as a singles competitor, I'm all for it. I mean, they took forever debuting her, and she definitely has that it factor. And I just think it'd be a heck of a match between them two. And I think I agree with you that Jade would be the heel to start off with.
Yeah, I just think that,
or Bianca as a heel would be fun. I've never even thought about the proposition of it.
I think it would be fun to have Bianca as a heel, but I think they've invested too much in her being a face that, they're just gonna ride the comfortable route, for a little bit longer. Maybe make her a heel down the road, but she's too popular right now.
That's very, very true.
That would, like, you want to kill a career, that's how you do it.
Yeah, because anytime you have an ill-timed turn, it can really set back the momentum of that certain superstar.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie. When I saw Cody actually hit AJ with the steps, just the look on his face, I'm like, is this trying to tease a heel turn, or are we just fooling ourselves?
I think we're fooling ourselves. There's no way. I think there's too much story to tell with The Rock and stuff.
I think worst case scenario, you at least put it in people's minds that this can happen, and it's a matter of time.
I mean, look, I'm all for it. We've seen Cody as a heel before. He can do it. So that's not my concern. It's not like just for lack of a better term, I'm going to say John Cena, right? Like we wouldn't know if he could be a heel. I have a pretty good feeling he could do it because the guy has acting chops.
Yeah.
But at that time,
he's
been
been a bad guy in movies, which I couldn't
hilarious.
believe.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. Every time, dude. Every time.
What was it, Fast 9?
Yeah, Fast 9.
Yeah. I couldn't take it seriously. I'd see him on TV and it's like, your move, Dom. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. Can't.
Especially after seeing him in other movies like Blockers or what's the one where he's the drug dealer? Sisters or something like that? Or House Party. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like it's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and their sisters. They throw a house party. He's like, yeah, I got Molly, I got X, got this. Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
It's just like
everything. I know what you're talking about. I see the scene like going on in my head right now, and I'm like,
yeah, he's got the white tee with the beanie. He's got some the fake tats on. Yeah. Oh, that one gets me every time. He's like, I got stuff to get you hard. Got stuff to get you soft. Got stuff to do this. Jesus. It's like a tackle box full of drugs. But before we get too off the rails here, Joey, let's keep this going down to our third match, which one I really enjoyed. One that kind of twisted storyline and just great wrestling all in the one. And that was for the IC Championship. And that was Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Crowd, I mean, was hot for Sami Zayn. I think he's hit that permanent babyface role as well, where he's just so over. He's always.
The bloodline. I think the bloodline is what elevated him.
Oh yeah, 100%
easily.
That one line of him being like, stay Usi, or he wasn't really Usi.
He's not feeling real Usi today.
I think that was a career
that's where that's where it kicked off for him. But good for him. Like, he deserves it. He's put in a lot of work for the business, and traveled the world and everything, and he's fantastic.
Sammy,
I like him in that role.
He's going to be your great upper mid-card guy that can hold that mid-card title, but can also, if he has to step up for a main event match, main event run, he can do it for you.
Here's my question on that. Do you see him getting close to Gunther's record?
I don't personally. I think we're gonna have, and I guess I'll give away the ending here on this one. I was kind of fancy booking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I see Gunther eventually getting the title,
Mm-hmm.
and Sammy having Chad Gable's going to get the IC title off of Sammy. I know he
You
won
think?
today. I think so. I think there was they left enough meat on the bone where it wasn't like complete clean finish. I think Chad Gable gets it, and I don't think Otis turns on him until after he gets the title. And that way, you set up Otis. You have his first challenger locked, ready to go. That's just personal opinion.
I think Sammy was just like, when he walked out, he did that's it. We're not doing this again. Because I think, wasn't that their third match?
They had a triple threat match. They had a match on Raw. They had a triple threat match with Bronson Reed last pay-per-view. But I just feel like
then he had the one where he's like, "Look, I'm going to give you this match."
Yeah, that was the Raw one.
I feel like you earned it. Was it?
Yeah,
no, I thought that was a pay-per-view.
They may have been this one then. We'll have to go back and fact check ourselves.
Yeah.
But either way, I think Chad Gable deserves a run.
I think so too. And he just re-signed with WWE.
Bingo.
That when I read that headline, I go, "Ooh, that title might change hands." I wouldn't be mad at it.
No, they have to play out the story first with Alpha Academy.
Plus, you get you got to deal with the Alpha Academy. The Olympics are coming up. He was an Olympian.
Yep.
Kind of piggyback off of that. Be like, hey, look, this Olympian, a title holder, like promoted a little bit. But I would call that probably match of the night, just because it was match and storyline all into one.
And plus, let's call what it is. Those two are so good, good in the ring. Oh my god,
it's funny because I remember when Chad Gable was when he was with Jason Jordan, we would look at it and just be like, all right, here we go. But now it's like he's developed himself into a very, very great singles competitor.
Oh yeah, dude! Like the Chaos Theory is just like the one he hits in this match is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I understand he has some to play in that, but oh my goodness, it was just absolutely incredible looking. Some storyline stuff I want to point on to is that there was a point in the match where Maxine has the IC title while she's walking around a boot. Let's keep that in mind too.
I didn't notice the boot. I didn't notice the boot until later.
Until later on. I'm gonna get to it right after this. So she's in a boot. She's limping around. Chad she gets the IC title. Chad's distracting the ref. That's going to be the theme of this match is Chad distracting the ref. And she refuses to hit Sammy with it. And she starts walking away. And Otis is like kind of comforting.
She does this. She goes.
She does it. And then she stops. Then we get a few teases with Otis as well. What's he going to do? Is he going to hurt? Is he going to hurt Sammy? Is he going to hurt Chad? Then we have the moment, right? The moment where I kind of changed the trajectory of this match. You got Sami Zayn. Before I get to that, ankle lock on the barrier. That was a new one for me, and I was like, "Dang, that's innovative." I really enjoyed that.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I was waiting for Sammy to hit him with something, and like the ref be somewhat distracted, just like, huh. If it was a no DQ match, that would have happened.
Oh, I could definitely see that happening. But then you get that transition to where now Sammy's on the floor in an ankle lock, and you can see him kind of move around a little bit, and then all of a sudden Chad just goes flying. Perfect shot. It looked phenomenal. Because you could tell it was a work, but you could also see where you could just suspend your disbelief as well. Hits her. Otis is distraught.
Oh, they're both looking like.
Yeah.
I love that part of the match where they just stop, they look back, like, oh my God, what happened? And then it's the realization from Chad Gable, like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, oh, dude. Sidetrack. Love those videos. People keep putting them out there. I laugh every single time.
Oh,
Even if
the bad ape from
the bad ape, yes.
War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That clip made me go back and watch the 3 movies.
Oh, it's so
Because I'm
good.
like, I gotta see what this is from. I thought it was because for the longest time, like the first time I saw it, because the meme was, it's like when your girl's not feeling good and you wake her up.
Yeah.
It's oh no, oh no, and you just see. Like I thought it was like, oh, he snuck in on an ape sleeping, but no, it's not that. Like, oh, this makes sense then.
Yeah, right. Oh, so back.
That's been my new thing. Whenever my wife sits there and says something, and I like I'm in trouble, I go like, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Oh wait, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first time hearing of that, and that is absolutely great. Oh,
Then another thing that I do that gets me in trouble, and y'all are all free to use this. Whenever I do something that she just kind of, those times where your wife looks at you and goes, "Why did I marry you again?" You've had
eh,
that moment. You've had that
I-
moment at some point, right?
yeah. I mean,
I
yeah,
feel
of
like
course.
if you're married and you haven't had that moment yet, you're not married long enough.
I was gonna say you really
Um,
was.
yeah. So she'll say she'll just give me that look of why did I say yes to you again? And I just point at her and I go, haha, you love me.
See, we don't only give our sports takes, but we give life lessons
Marital
here.
advice.
You know. So let's get this trade back on the tracks here. So this ends up all leading to ultimately some distractions. There's a moonsault. There's a not a moonsault, dive from Chad Gable onto Sami Zayn and to Otis. This all eventually leads to Otis walking out with Maxine in arms from Chad Gable. He's looking at him like, what's going on? That distraction leads to the hell of a kick or the haluva kick. 1, 2, 3, Sami retains. We've given our overall thoughts on the match. Match of the night for me. Great. It was the most entertaining match for sure.
Yes. 100%. And it's, when they showed the recap of the storyline leading up to that, I watched it and I go, man, that's like a low key, really good storyline. I don't know why I haven't paid more attention to it than what I have. And definitely going to pay more attention to it coming up.
So the turn's coming from Otis. Otis is just a like white hot baby face waiting.
The thing that I love that they do is that they tease it, and you get to a point where it's like, oh, well, this is obviously when it's happening. Oh, this is obviously when it's happening, and they keep tricking you where it's like, nope, gotcha. And then it's like, oh, okay, here's where he turns, and it's like, nope, this is where, nope, he's attacking. Okay, this might be the closest that they've had to making that turn official, but I kind of want them to keep, tease it a little more, so that when it does happen, it's like it blows up in Chad Gable's face. Just because I think that'd
pop,
be, yeah.
As Al Snow likes to say.
Yes.
If you have not watched Wrestlers on Netflix, highly recommend it.
Yes.
If you're a wrestling fan, great show. Shout out there. So let's keep moving on to our penultimate main event. That would be Piper Niven, hometown hero, versus Bayley for the women's title. So I will say this was my weakest match. They did have a really entertaining moment in there that I laughed pretty hard at. But other than that, and it's sad to say the crowd was really quiet for this match too.
I think it took a lot out of them in that Intercontinental match.
It had to,
and they wanted to save some for Drew.
Drew and Damon, yeah.
I think that it didn't have enough build up to me. Like it was just kind of, hey, we're gonna randomly do this.
It's like, hey, you're Scottish.
There was a quote that Piper Niven said. She went to Triple H and said, hey, we're in Scotland. I want to do this. And Triple H said, "We're working on it," and it's like, okay, that's how it's going to be. We're working on it, and that's what it turned into, is this match. And I'm glad she got to have a match in Scotland, especially in front of that crowd. But I think that's pretty much what it was. Is, hey, you're Scottish, you wrestle for us. We want you in a big match. The highlight was Chelsea Green coming out in a pink Rey Mysterio mask.
Oh, dude, I laughed so hard at that, and I'm like, it's old school like goofy shenanigans like that get me every time. Because like we all know it's the same freaking person because he's wearing the exact same thing, just the mask on.
It's like Little Nate. You watch Little Nation, it's like, dude, clearly you know who this is. Like, come on. I think the only thing that would have made it a little funnier would have been if she changed her wardrobe completely, right? To be just like, look, I'm a luchador, like I'm somebody else. I'm not Chelsea Green.
But no, that was a great moment. I'm gonna throw something out there, and I was thinking about this during the match. Would you say that Piper Niven's kind of going to fall into that, like Tamina kind of role?
Big bruiser,
like just a bruising type, is always going to be, kind of believable as a world championship contender just because of her size and her athletic ability, but never really going to get that opportunity. And look, that's not a knock. It's just trying to speak facts, right?
I can see it. I think it's unless you could develop a character for her to be, hard, like, hey, you're a hard bitch, like that kind of thing. Be the Tamina, be the Nia Jax, where it's like no one can beat me.
And that's what's gonna have to
be. I don't want to say believable. Like I want to say like.
Well, it's not another retread, right?
If she just decided to snap and terrorize people, like change her character, like make her dye her hair, make her look like a grunge chick, like almost like a Shayna Baszler type.
I hate to say it though.
Then maybe.
Do you think Doudrop is still lingering on her? You think the stink of that?
I think a little bit.
That terrible gimmick. Yeah.
I think a little bit, but she could grow out of it. I mean, she could get out of that.
Oh, 100%.
But I think right now she's got her place as a tag team wrestler.
And I really do.
And
like
she's great at it. Yeah, I think that's one of the top teams in WWE.
Because it's a good wrestling match like thing, right? You got Piper who can do your big power moves, make a really entertaining match in the ring. And not saying Chelsea Green can't wrestle, not saying that, but she is definitely, her ace is being this character and like playing off of, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you up. Oh wait, no, Piper, help me out. Kind of.
It's one of those things where it's
a little swarmy heel.
You have people who can wrestle and who are fantastic at wrestling, and then you have people who can play roles and wrestle, but their biggest thing is they play a role.
Yes.
Not saying that doesn't mean that they're a good wrestler. She's one of those people who can play that role. Chelsea Green is. She can play that role of being that, I could dig at you and all that stuff. Piper is that person that, she needs a Chelsea to bring that character up so that it almost balances them out. Like Piper can wrestle, Chelsea can be a character, and so then it just it's their balance.
It's almost like having a manager, like Chelsea be her manager, but also her tag team partner at the same time.
Yes.
And look, I expect Piper to get more opportunities. I think they like her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're gonna have to build up that character again from some damage that was probably done by WWE themselves.
Yeah, I would say they clearly like her if they gave her a match in Scotland. You're not just getting a title shot just because, like.
Yeah, because they commit TV to you. They commit like resource, like vignettes and everything like that. So yeah, it's like it goes a lot in there. They have to believe in you.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out this match before we move on to the main event is Bayley went in with a crucifix bomb. That
was wild.
I didn't see that coming. It was really creative because he keeps trying to hit the Rosebud, keeps trying to hit that, and all of a sudden you see her climb up. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, I haven't really seen one of those since like WrestleMania 35, where they botched the shit out of it. You know, like.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I take that back. Gunther did the same thing, but again, they botched the shit out of it. But yeah, like overall, not the greatest match, probably the weakest one on the card. Not terrible. For the people that like the star ratings, I'd give it a solid 2. You know,
I give it a 2.25.
Yeah, I mean,
2.25. You know, could it have been better? Yes. But I think that comes from build up. That doesn't come from the match itself.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it suffers because there was like no natural build up. It was just kind of like, here's a match. And that's it.
Exactly. So, anything else you want to talk about on this one?
I think it's time to move on to the main event.
Move on to the main event of the evening. Hometown hero Drew McIntyre versus Judgment Day leader Damian Priest.
I'm going to pull up my text message that I sent you before.
Okay. Well, while you do that,
yeah.
Love the entrance with the bagpipes and everything. Yes, it's kind of on the nose, and
there was a funny video on TikTok of a fan at WrestleMania when they did that same thing with the bagpipes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing, what was it, Scotland the Brave was the name of the song they played. That was Roddy Piper's entrance music. And so they played it, him going into WrestleMania, and they go, wait, isn't he dead?
Like, oh, Jesus. Come on, man.
It's like, or it said something like, I think like, oh, they brought him back to life for WrestleMania 40. That's awesome.
Jeez, dude. Oh, you got that text message?
Wrong group text. Here it is. You said, so y'all think Drew wins in his home country today or nah? And my response was, CM Punk flew there just to ruin his day.
And we'll get to it. You called it. We'll get to it though. There's some other things I want to touch on first because we were texting back and forth between at the start of this match. So other notes I had, the crowd definitely made this match feel a lot bigger.
Yes,
a lot bigger. So also I always say this when I watch Damian Priest or like Drew McIntyre because they both do it. These are some big dudes that are doing dives. Like, yes. Good Lord.
Yes. You watch them fly and you're just like, that's not natural.
No. Like, this big dude is just jumping like over the top rope. Like, it's impressive. It's physically just super impressive. Gets me every time. But let's talk about the thing that we were going back and forth on. And that was Damian Priest getting hung up in the ropes. Like, it almost happened too perfectly.
He went for his move, stepped on the second rope. When he went for the top rope, when he went for the top rope, he slipped. Momentum still carried him forward. For those who didn't see it, momentum still carried him forward. And this is the best way I could do ring ropes. His foot did this, and it twisted, and his ankle was caught in the ropes, and he hung like a piñata on the side of the ring. I want to know what kind of pain he had when he hit the apron.
Dude, that was
he wasn't prepared for that.
Mm-mm.
He just kind of like whoop, boom. And then he's just hanging there like, guys. And I thought what was happening was when they stayed long on
Drew,
I'm like, okay, so they're helping him out of this. Like they've got people coming up and just saying like, okay, come on, let's get you up. But I like the way that they were able to do it to get him out of it and still kind of make it a move. I'm sure his ankle is killing him.
But you know what? Hats off. I'm going to say it. Hats off, Damian Priest. Dude, you to perform the way he did, if that was a real thing. So there's a part of me that makes me want to think that it may be a work because of the way they showed the replay, right? Most of the time, if it was a true like injury or like mess up, then they wouldn't keep showing it. but they did.
Um,
That's just personal
no.
opinion.
Do you know why I think they would still show it?
It had it built into the match at a certain point. You can't just gloss over
let's
it.
rewind to the greatest Royal Rumble and one Titus O'Neil running full bore into the ring and just getting tripped up by whatever tripped him up, and he perfectly slid underneath the ring to the point where all you saw was his feet dangling out from underneath the ring like he was the Wicked Witch getting smashed by a house in The Wizard of Oz. So I think like there's things like that where you just can't ignore it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, this happened. If you're wondering why he's checking his leg, if you've tuned in late, this is why. Because maybe they can take that if it was an accident and go, okay, let's build that story off of that.
Yeah.
Like we can still use it. Not oh, this happened, but y'all saw nothing.
Man, are you worried about like if he's actually hurt though? What do you think to do with the title? They got to put it up, right? If he's out for a while.
They might do some kind of thing like they did with Becky when she was pregnant. They might say like, "Oh, it's the Money in the Bank match. Who's going to win it?" And then they open it. They have a thing where they open the briefcase and it's like, "Hey, you actually won the title."
Oh, that's a good idea. I do like that.
That'd be probably the only way you can do it if you want a quick, easy like, "Hey, he's out for like 4 months. He's got to be stripped of the title," and then it's
I can see
passed
that.
along.
I can either see that or they're going to do a fatal 4-way kind of like main event on Raw just to kind of reset the title thing if they have a plan in place. I mean, you could always look, or you hot shot Drew and CM. Anyway,
that's what I was thinking.
I didn't mean to take
it. No, that is like, I'm glad you said it because I'm not the only one who thinks that. You know, it's like it's going to be Punk and McIntyre at SummerSlam.
It has to be. If he's physically cleared, it has to be.
If he's cleared, yes, that's the biggest thing. Now, let me run this idea by you. Okay. So we're gonna future book really quick.
All fans booking.
Just we'll come back to this match in a second. Because I want to go back to what we skipped with the Cody match.
Okay.
After the match. He's walking back to the tunnel. Who's there to meet him at the entrance?
I actually missed this.
Solo Sikoa is standing there.
Oh, I did not see that.
And they get in each other's face. And here comes Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa attacking Cody. And then here comes Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to back him up.
Oh, wow. I missed a lot then.
We keep saying, this is why you watch the whole thing.
I was doing other things.
So how's this for fantasy booking? Okay. Let me readjust myself really quick. And yes, I am wearing a purple, green, and gold shirt. That's why you can't really see part of my shirt. So you take the bloodline as it is now. Okay. Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, right? And you have Cody, Randy, and KO. And then you have the Usos and Roman Reigns. And you do a 3-way War Games.
So I've thought about this. I think I love that idea. And look, I would not be opposed to that whatsoever. Here's how I think it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to find another 2 for Roman's side. But I do agree with the Roman Reigns coming back as a babyface with Jey Uso and Jimmy. You got to find 2 more with him here. But you still have Jacob Fatu and Hikaloa.
Has he signed?
Has he signed?
Okay.
Yes. Fatu and Hikaloa both signed.
So then maybe that's where you're going to get
Bloodline War Games.
You're going to get Bloodline War Games. But the question would be, how do you get the other 2?
It'd be interesting to see, unless you just put Fatu with the other ones, because there is a rumor going around that they're worried that Jacob Fatu would overshadow Solo Sikoa as the leader. So maybe you put him a Roman. Let him start off that way.
Yeah.
Because you still have The Rock and stuff, too, who could play a factor into this. There's a lot of routes they can go with the bloodline. It's just a holding pattern they're in right now.
So here's my question about The Rock. When does Moana 2 come out?
No, not. They just announced it, so I'm sure they got to do a good bit of editing and stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that.
So it says 2024. Release date November 27th.
You know it's in November, huh?
You promote Survivor Series. You promote his movie. You got him in a match. But at the same time, he could be too busy promoting that movie.
Very true. He also did just get hurt in this filming this latest movie.
Have you seen the stills of that movie?
I have not. No. I know it's an A24 production now, which I'm kind of intrigued the fact that he's doing a A24 movie.
It is called I think it's The Smashing Machine is the movie. Yes. Yeah. Dude, he plays Mark Kerr. He's not even recognizable.
The Rock?
Yes, let me show you.
I'm looking right now. Don't worry.
I'm gonna show
our audience.
Yes. Share it. Like, look at him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like you can kind of see it. You can see it here, but from like here, this area, you can't see anything, and then all his tattoos are gone.
Yep. God damn. Y'all love makeup and stuff, right?
Right. I want to see that movie.
Should be pretty good. They usually put out some pretty good movies.
Yeah, A24 is a really good studio that's been putting out fantastic movies.
So let's move back to this match now.
Yeah, back to the match.
So I gotta say, dude, Damian Priest, the fact that he hits a razor's edge off the top rope. Well, he doesn't do a top rope. Drew McIntyre, he gets him on top rope, ends up picking him up. The fact he's able to do that, if on one leg, super impressive. The Hurricane Rana into a Claymore was fantastic. Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Amazing. So let's get to it. There's some shenanigans. The ref misses the ref gets out of the way the first time, feigns an injury. Right.
Well, I love how he dove headfirst out of the ring,
and his knees hurt.
And it's just like it's like, okay, that's random. And he's like, oh, my knee. All right. I'm like, okay, like I can buy that.
I was like, okay, the ref's not an idiot this time. I appreciate it. Because sometimes refs are like, oh my God, they're coming right at me. What do I do?
The best is I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with my wife, and she's like, I'm talking to her about stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, ref. Like it was just like progress. Like first he dove out the ropes to miss, got back up, then he fell, got hurt, then he got back up, and then he got slammed into the thing. I'm like, all right, this is a step up. Like let's calm down a bit.
Look, got there. They eventually got there with the ref bump. It took 3 shots, but they got there. Then you have Drew cover Damian. He has the win.
He pinned him for 9. It was got to a 9 count.
Then all of a sudden you see the camera pan out, and you just see somebody running down the ramp.
You see a spotlight follow it too. That's the best part. Is you just see. It's like, okay, here comes a ref.
Okay, here goes the ref. Cool.
Tight shot of the pin.
1.
You see the dive in. What did you think when you saw the dive in?
I'm like, okay, he's gonna. I was like, of course, Damian's gonna kick out at 2. I saw 1, 2, then it stopped with no kit, with no pump up. Then I noticed the slick back hair, and that's where I was like, oh God.
I noticed the hair first, and I go, Finn? Don't ask me why I thought that was Finn's hair. Like, don't ask me why. It was just like a quick, like, Finn, that's not Finn. Then I noticed the Jordans on his feet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's CM Punk.
And then as soon as you see McIntyre's face, they lock eyes. He looks like he's seen a ghost.
CM Punk was there to ruin Drew
day.
McIntyre's
You called
day.
it. You called it.
I even texted after. I fucking called it.
Look, so he gets him up. They argue back and forth. Drew shoves him back into the corner. And then the kick of death from CM Punk right to the family jewels. He's Drew McIntyre's incapacitated. On his knees, Punk shoves him back. Here comes Damian Priest, grabs him. South of heaven. 1, 2, 3. We have the champ retains. And the crowd goes quiet. Now, did you notice when CM Punk is walking out, he's like taking pictures with fans and stuff. He's like, what? I thought I was going to get jumped if I came here. I thought I was going to get jumped.
Great match. Great match. Yeah.
That was very good. It was a new twist on how to, because there was a good feeling that CM Punk was going to be involved somehow. And rather than him just come out like him with a chair or something like that, to be the referee in that high drama situation, it was really good. It was really good.
I like the way they did that. It was definitely a change of pace for how normal, run-ins happen. But I did love the sign that said, if Priest wins, we riot. So I'm like, okay, where's the riot? I'm waiting on it.
It's so great.
Where is it? Probably kicked over a trash can. It's like,
meh. I'm so mad, man.
Yeah.
So I really think this is going to lead to a real WrestleMania moment for Drew. If not, he is just getting boned left and right.
This is my thought. If he comes out of this and he's not the way he was coming out of the Rumble, bitching that, oh, he ruined my moment. He ruined I'm the one that hurt CM Punk. If he doesn't do that, then good. Like his babyfaceness will continue to grow. But if he comes back and he's whining and whining and whining, I don't see how you can.
Well, I think he's going to be whining. I don't think we get the full face turn yet. I think we're going to get that in the full weeks to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because the issue is, and we talked about this off air, but CM Punk is so popular. It's going to be hard to make him babyface. I mean, heel when he hasn't been around that much, right?
So let me ask you this: people like Damian Priest,
yes.
So who is the true heel in this match?
Oh, he was. He was the heel just because of
Damian was. Okay,
just where they were.
So location-wise in the building, it was Priest. But what about like us watching on TV?
So me watching it, the way I viewed it was that Priest was the heel and McIntyre was the face, because leading up to this,
just because of Judgment Day.
Yeah, just because of Judgment Day. The way they've kind of lined the storyline up, they've made Drew the face because he's overcoming odds and all that.
In my opinion, I think it's hard to have Damian look like a heel just because of all the problems that Judgment Day is having.
Yeah.
Look at what Liv Morgan is doing. People love Rhea Ripley. If anything, it's you're shaping up basically the dissolving of Judgment Day. And it's like they're not going to get any stronger. They're just going to fall apart a little more and a little more and a little more.
I think the eventual move is them moving Rhea and Damian away from Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my thing behind that. And I truly think that Damian's going to end up being a babyface coming out of this. I think this was just a weird one-off because of them going to Scotland. They had to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see them going back to Drew being whiny and everything. And actually, they kind of open up the avenue with CM Punk screwing him over.
Plus, I think that if you look at it, CM Punk has a reason to be doing this because he was hurt. Drew McIntyre hurt him, and he kept saying it and kept saying it and kept saying it.
Oh, it's 100% legitimate.
So then it's like going into this match, it's like, oh, the face is actually just like sticking it to the heel.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. And then, so here's my other reason why I think that Damian Priest eventually is going to be a babyface. Going into SummerSlam, I don't think he drops the title at Money in the Bank. It just wouldn't make sense unless they're going to just do somewhere they want Gunther to face like Sheamus or something. So Gunther is a heel through and through.
Mm-hmm.
He may get cheered, but his character is a heel character.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make sure that Priest is either a tweener or a full-blown babyface by that point. Because, he has that title match at SummerSlam, which I can't wait for. That's going to be a good match. Very good match.
That's going to be awesome.
I think Gunther takes it, though. I think that Reign of Terror is going to start again. You have just because you have too many possibilities for him to chase, right? Like
I forgot that they have that match.
Yeah, the King of the Ring.
I forgot they added that stipulation. So wait, which title does Nia Jax go for?
No, Bayley.
Bayley.
Mm-hmm. So those are going to be two interesting ones.
How much longer is Rhea out?
She'll be back by SummerSlam. I think that's your match at SummerSlam.
So she'd have to come back. She'd have to come back at Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Maybe Liv has a challenger or something like that, or So one of the things I want to kind of end on, we're talking about fantasy booking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe we're coming up on a certain anniversary of the Dominic Mysterio custody match, right?
Oh yes. I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this.
1 second. I want to confirm this. I want to confirm when this actually happened. What SummerSlam was this?
It was
bear with me while I fact check this, everybody.
I want to say
2005. So we're almost at the 20-year anniversary. But they've set this up, and I've seen this running around online, and I absolutely, and I mean absolutely love it. It's basically have the same match, just have Rhea and Liv have a ladder match over custody of Dom. You cannot tell me you would not thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, enjoy that storyline build up to it, because he seems just enough of a, I don't want to say it's not a pansy or anything along those lines, but just enough afraid of the two women fighting over him, where he's gonna be like, "No, y'all choose. I don't want to."
Something you may not have noticed. So remember when Liv gave Dominic the hotel key card?
You talking about with Finn?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I know. Finn did grab it later on the show. So I've also seen some other things, and I've actually liked this too, is where it seems like Liv kind of just falls into, she takes over Judgment Day.
I don't think it'll go that far.
Yeah, but they'll definitely have a blow off match, I think, at SummerSlam though, and it's a great storyline to do it on.
I think so too. Like it's just so funny to watch. I'm just picturing like custody in a briefcase above the ring, or you do like
where's Vince Russo when you need him?
Wasn't it like Jericho was in a shark cage above the ring?
Oh, yes.
That's what it's going to be. They're going to put him in a shark cage. They're going to put it above the ring. It's going to be to promote Shark Week.
No, or I'm calling Viagra on a pole match. Bring Russo back. You know he can book it. I'm clearly joking here, everybody. Before we get a riot here, just wanted to pull y'all's leg. But
no, they'd get a sponsorship from Roman. So it'd be Roman swipes on a pole.
Roman swipes. Blue Chew on a pole match.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Hims. Oh, Joseph.
Brought to you by Hims.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about this show before we wrap everything up?
I do have a bit of a rant.
By all means, sir.
I teased this rant on Monday when I texted you. So I went to Boston last weekend. Fantastic town. If you have the chance to go.
Very fun. Been there.
Stayed in the North End. You know, if if this place could be more like that, I would be
Ecstatic.
Yes. So it's me, my wife, and her parents. And we get an alert that says your new flight time is like 20 minutes after. It's like the flight was delayed 20 minutes.
It's not terrible.
Mind you, we have a connection in Nashville. So we're watching this time get closer and closer and closer to the point we were landing in Nashville after our connecting flight takes off, according to the app.
When you sent me those pictures, I was like, bro, are you serious?
Like, I think the peak time was like 20 minutes after we land, the other plane's taking off. Or 20 minutes after that plane takes off, we're landing. So we're panicking. We're thinking, oh no, we got to deal with, we might have to drive home.
Yeah, that's a far drive too.
So, we deal with that. We're like, you know what? We got a little extra time. The flight's now at like 9:30 Boston time. Let's do a mob tour. We set up the mob tour. Didn't notice the date on the mob tour that we booked. We booked it for Tuesday. And we said, whoops, we need to do it today. So we called the tour guide, or we called the group, and they said, look, we'll work something out. They got me in touch with the driver of the tour. A great tour guide from St. Petersburg, Russia.
Nice.
Knew a lot about the mob scene in the Boston area. The biggest story out of that is Whitey Bulger, even though there's a few others. Fun fact: did you know that one of the places that Whitey Bulger hid from the FBI was Grand Isle, Louisiana?
Yep.
I didn't know that until this week.
Oh, I did a bunch of research on it, like when I first heard about him. Yeah, it's fascinating.
So
it was wild.
After we did that tour, I bought Black Mass and The Departed and watched both of those on the way home.
Nice.
So, we're doing we do the trolley tour, which that's again another great tour to do. Going around, and all of a sudden, I get a tap on my shoulder. It's my father-in-law, and he goes, "Did you see the flight?" I go, "No. Did it take off already?" Because that'd be our luck.
Yeah,
and I
right.
Look, it went from an hour delay to back on time. So we went from, oh fuck, we have all this time and we're gonna miss our flight in Nashville, to, oh shit, we don't have as much time. We got to get to the airport. So we get to, we get done with that tour. We do the mob tour because we paid a lot of money for the mob tour. But again, great tour. And the driver offered to bring us to the airport. He's like, look, $55. I'll bring you to your hotel and I'll get you to the airport. And we're all like,
super nice.
Sold. So we get to the airport and all that stuff, and we're sitting at the gate, and I'm like, what kind of horseshit is this? Because like now we have 30 minutes to get to the gate for when we land. And I said, our luck, we're going to be at like B50 and the flight's going to be at like B1, and we have to run across the terminal. Not that Nashville's airport's that big. So we're in the air, and I'm watching The Departed, minding my own business. I look at my wife and I go, if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. Am I right?
Jeez.
We land. It doesn't change for the time change to the central time zone. So yes, the flight was at 10:45. And yes, technically we landed at 10:15, but we landed at 10:15 Boston time, not 10:15 Nashville time.
Wow. You would think they would adjust to that.
So like in my brain, if I look at, hey, you're going to land at this time, like if I'm scheduled to take off at 10 o'clock and then I land, let's say it's an hour flight into the next time zone. I would want that to say you take off at 10, you land at 10.
Yeah, clearly, because
I can read that and go, okay, that makes sense because I'm changing time zones. Not I'm going to take off at 10 and land at 11, and then when I land, hey, it says 10, but it's 10 o'clock now.
That's how it was when we went. Our tickets were like that too. That it makes no sense to me at all. But
Like
I
I
don't
get
know.
you have to go based off of the home airport.
But come on, man. Like you got to be reasonable of knowing like
Because that's
the,
like if you take a cruise. So I went on a cruise. When we left, it was the Sunday before the time change, before the daylight savings. When we docked back home, there was the day of the time change. So when we were leaving, they said, "Listen, when we go off, because they go off of home port, right?
Yeah.
For all their schedules, they said we are going to observe daylight savings time because that's what the time's going to be when we dock on Sunday. So all your times are this." So that entire time we were an hour behind here
Okay.
that we were on the cruise because boat time went on when we dock.
Okay. I mean, makes sense as long
So
as they give you.
I guess that's what they see it as. It's like you're going based off of, because there's times where you like if you go to like here to Orlando, you're going to see that the flight looks like it's 2 hours, but it's really like an hour 15 minutes because the time change it goes
No, I mean it makes
ahead.
sense. It's just you would think it would be more technologically advanced to be like, okay, well he's landing in Central, coming from Eastern, so let's give him the actual time in Central where he'd be landing. Right?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
But
give me the time of when I'm gonna like what's the time gonna be when I land in this airport? That's
well,
what I want.
maybe they're just working too hard on AI and not on the apps to tell you when your flight's actually going to land in your time zone correctly.
You want to talk
But
about the struggle that I had to think about like, great, I'm gonna have to drive 8 hours through the night to get to work in the morning. I took the next day off because I felt like my body felt like I was up that late.
yeah, well, I mean, look, who doesn't need an extra little day, right?
I
But
didn't, but I took it. I said I'm stealing this day. I told work we made that drive.
there you go. But man, that sucks. At least you made it back. You got that extra little day and everything, man. But is there anything else you want to cover before we wrap up this show and send everybody home happy, huh?
We're gonna send a half people home because we are the sort of sports talk. I'm gonna throw in a little sports right here. Uh, Boston's gonna win the next game
I think so.
in the
Boston will win the
Garden.
next game, and I think Florida's going to end up winning it.
Also, did you see how many people went to the watch party at TD Garden for the Celtics?
I did not know. I did not see
That
the.
place was packed.
Well, yeah, they're ready. They're ready to get those duck boats ready. They're ready to
Do you know
celebrate
how?
another championship.
Do you know how much tickets were to that?
At least over $100. I'm guessing.
To the watch party? Is that your guess?
Yeah,
$28 a piece.
that's not bad.
So we were talking about that at work, and they're like one of the guys goes, "I wouldn't go to a watch. I'm not going to go if the Pelican if they're not playing in the arena. Like I could just watch that at home." I said, "Dude, do you understand the atmosphere that is in that
That's
building?
the whole thing, right?
Like that is fun as hell. I would gladly go do that for
No,
$28. You can't
yeah,
buy. You can't even sniff a ticket for $28 to the finals. The cheapest ticket right now for Game 5 is like $850.
ugh, yeah, fuck that. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been that exciting of a series either. But we'll get back. I want to cover we're going to cover both series, the NHL and the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. See, I corrected it.
Yeah, because the Stanley Cup Finals may end tonight.
I think I have a good feeling it is. But
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Stanley Cup Finals don't end tonight, then the NHL and the NBA are colluding.
Get extra TV time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's something else we can dive into next time, bud.
Yep.
For sure, man. God, it's a good episode. It was a great show tonight. Had a great time watching it. I say tonight, I gotta say, love the fact that another reason I love these events is that they're during the day. I can still do stuff during the afternoon and nighttime. But on that note, Broseph, we're gonna wrap it up. We thank you all again for tuning in for episode 9 of the Noble Study, Sort of Sports Talk. I'm your host, Tyler. Again, this is my co-host Joey. Y'all have a good one.
Deuces.